everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Ron.
And we have our guest back with us. He's family, you know.
Yeah, he's family.
At this point.
Literally.
Right.
Hassan from Philly.
Yep, Hassan. So we are here today to talk about P Valley Season 2 finale, titled Mississippi Rule. And man, I really enjoyed this episode. A lot went down, a lot, but I was so happy with how things ended, and I was really happy for Uncle Clifford.
Yes. And Mercedes.
Yeah, and Mercedes, yeah. And we're gonna get into that in a little bit, but I just want to say, if you have not seen our interview with the P Valley stars, Gail Bean and Nico Anand, you need to go and check those out because those were some phenomenal interviews. We had so much fun.
So much
yes
fun.
And they dropped like so much background information about the show and just really gave us a good feel for who they are as people, and they are fantastic.
They are. Man, yes. They feel like family, right?
They do, yes. So go check that out ASAP if you haven't already. And if you guys hang tight, we'll be right back to get the recap started. So we are back to talk about the P Valley Season 2 finale. It wasn't quite as explosive as I thought it was going to be. I thought that we was going to have some casualties. I thought that it was going to be hell in the handbasket when they let them people back in the club after that mayhem. But it wasn't. So I was shocked that things went down the way that they did. But I wasn't mad at the season finale. We got some closure in some situations, I think. Or I won't say closure. We got some progress, I think.
Yeah, I think a few of our predictions we were wrong on, and there was some that we were right about. I know Sonya's not here, she's traveling, and one of the things that she predicted that Pastor Woodbine would win.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be Andre.
Yeah, I did too.
Me too.
I was had a prediction too about Lil Murda coming out. You said that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And
the only I was, I don't know, maybe 10% right with Haley. I said she had to go, but I didn't realize she was gonna go like that. I was hoping my feeling that she was gonna get, ghosted, not on her own recognizance. I actually thought, when I saw Derek and Big L with the salt.
Oh, Duffy. Oh, Diamond. Sorry.
Yeah, Diamond and Big L with the shovel and the
if she didn't roll, they was going.
That was the option.
That was get her.
I was
that was the message sent. Like you getting out of here.
Either way.
Remember Ghost and Tommy say that too. One way or another.
And so I'm thinking, is it going to be that way? Because if it was, I would have been dead right, spot on. But
And while we're go ahead, Tiff.
No, I was gonna say, but we also said that we thought Uncle Clifford was going to prevail over her too. Like we thought that stuff was going to blow up in her face.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because like all of this stuff surrounding the election, and then we thought that Haley was going to have the opportunity to tell Andre about her being pregnant before she, made her next move or whatever. And it seemed like she was leaning towards possibly staying. But, once Wifey came back in town, it kind of foiled the plans, because it seems like she's trying to fight for her marriage, which I was a little shocked about, considering it seemed like she had a side relationship going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so why is she so pissed that Andre had somebody else too, considering it seemed like things had kind of fizzled out between them.
Well, you know, adage, they say two wrongs don't make a right, but I think it made a left turn for them. And they just decided to, I don't even know if they decided to really try to make it. I think what Andre said to Haley is probably more poignant than anything else. When she asked him, "Are y'all back together?" Whatever, and he's here. Is she gonna stay or whatever? It's on her. And you're right. I was a little taken to say, well, why is she so pissed off at Andre when she just got caught sucking a man's, you know? And I'm like, right, okay, I'm a little confused. He got caught kissing and you got caught sucking, and I'm a little confused. So I got, you know,
right. We catch your point.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad I don't have to go any deeper.
No, we got you.
Wasn't it? What didn't it seem like a lot of plot twists though?
It was. There were a lot of plot twists.
You were watching and thinking one thing was going to happen, but the total opposite happened, and it's going to get. I'm thinking, right. I'm hoping. I can't wait for season 3, but I'm believing she's going to disappear, right? And then have those twins come back when he's well established or his marriage is right, everything's going to be going good, and she's going to come back like surprise.
Right.
Go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead.
No, I want to finish your thought.
Well, I was just going to say quickly, I think that would be a mistake because Uncle Clifford ain't feeling her anymore.
Right.
Nobody's feeling her.
I was so happy.
She don't have to come back to the Pynk, though. She don't have to come back to the Pynk.
Oh,
she can come back.
No, but she gonna come back. She gonna come back to Chucalissa, for sure.
Yeah. For him, absolutely.
I think what led her to roll too is like when the dust up when they were going at it, Andre and Brittany, and then when he said to her, you know, can you excuse me? When he dismissed her, she looked like, okay, like that was like a wake up call of her position.
Yeah.
In that situation.
And also, she stole money. Like, you got to get up out of there at this point. You know,
But I'm talking about I'm talking about specifically with Andre.
Right. But she also stole a huge chunk of money,
which is foul because Uncle Clifford gave her $250,000. He bought the club back, so you got 250 G's. So for you to take more money, that led me to believe that was out of spite.
I'm pissed with Haley because it's kind of like you had the opportunity to make $5 million.
Yeah.
You were being greedy and you kept holding out for 10, and then you went back demanding 15, and the whole thing blew up in your face because you got nothing in the end, and they found a way to build their casino by the water without having to use the Pynk. But so it's like it blew up in her face.
That's so true because $5 million on your investment of $250,000 is a good chunk of change.
Hello?
But she was banking on Andre winning though.
Yes.
Right? But you don't bank on the variables when you got a constant. See, you always learn that. You learn that. You learn that in math. You know, there are variables and constants. You know,
but real estate it's a little bit different though.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. When you talk about return on investment, I give you $250,000 and I get $5 million back in return. You got to help me understand that math.
But are you worth with? Because I truly believe it was more of a she wasn't going to get what she's worth. So, but she definitely was going to get what she negotiated. How important it was to them.
Her value was in her head. It wasn't stated. It wasn't stated as in real estate investment. It was just in her head. It's what she wanted. She was greedy. So my whole point is, I'm looking at return on investment. If I give you $250,000 and I get $5 million in return, we square.
That's a win for me.
Right. And listen, I'm glad she failed because at the end of the day, you know, Uncle Clifford and them need the Pynk. That's right. That's her legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's her legacy. Her, you know, belong to her ancestors. You know, they're family. So I was glad Haley failed.
Yeah.
But did y'all hear Andre say that he was in love with her?
He did say that.
But listen, right? She made that phone call. It was a bunch of details they were showing us. Then she made that phone call when she realized he didn't win and told him to keep his head out. Keep your head high, King. You know, that way, encourage him. His wife doesn't do that for him. He's gonna go searching for her, like to find her, to you know, it's gonna be something more with them. It's not over.
Oh yeah, she loves him too.
Right.
Oh yeah.
The issue with Haley and everything, like, you know, when Uncle Clifford said to her, like, we tried to be family for you and everything. And she was like, I don't need family. The issue was, we saw that a couple episodes ago when she said that she didn't know her parents. She doesn't know her roots. Right. So she does not have that sense of, you know, loyalty, belonging to family and stuff. She does not know how to really be that. And that's why, and that's what she was trying to make Haley understand about. It wasn't about money for Uncle Clifford.
Right. But you could tell Haley's whole motives by what she was saying to Keyshawn. She was like, get out of town, wherever you're going, don't make no friends. You only have enemies. Right. And that's how Haley rolls.
That's how she rolls.
So, you know, and then the other thing about the wife that you were talking about, Hassan, Andre's wife, he was basically letting the wife know, whoever you met me as is not who I really am, because I had been lying to you about my life the whole time.
Right.
And he was like, so which version of me did you fall in love with? That are you coming back for the old Andre or who I really am?
But I want to ask one question too. This is the thing. Did y'all think about this? Like, if he did win, I know the writers, the great writers that Katori and everyone is, right, on the staff, right? Do y'all think that they wrote in a part, like, if he did win, I believe if he won, she would have told him, right? And then it would have been a different outcome. She would have told him, like, I'm pregnant, if he would have won.
I don't think her telling him was based on whether he won or not. I think she didn't tell him because his wife came back.
Yeah,
I think that was the problem.
I think
I agree with that.
I think she gave him a solid. I mean, she didn't want to disrupt any more than what she already had. I mean, Haley is as crooked letter as Haley is. I think that there's some good that came from all of it. I mean, I think that
she was trying to look out for Keyshawn. She was legit trying to help Keyshawn, so she does have some goodness in her.
Yeah, and I think the way but you Chucalissa is not a
Chucalissa.
That's Ron language.
Let me do what Nico said. I got my own language.
That's I understood you, Ron. I knew what you was talking about.
I know, but you know, it's Chucalissa to me, damn it. So anyway, Chucalissa is a small little town, and let's say she does come back, somebody gonna know. And you don't steal $42,000 talking about interest. You know, that wasn't no interest, sweetie. You
Diamond let her know your interest was in us burying that body.
Well, Big L said
that. I think now, to be honest, in terms of when we were just talking about business, yeah, she saved the Pynk. She gave him $250,000 to save the Pynk. You could have got a little interest on that, 10% maybe.
But as far as they were concerned, she owed them that because of what the situation she put them in with
Montavious came there because of her.
But you wouldn't even have the Pynk to have that. I got it. But I mean, you know.
She did save the Pynk season 1. She did. But they saved her too because
they saved her life. They saved her life.
Montavious came to the joint looking for her. And then Mercedes had to deal with the juju because of her.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, they square. They even.
That 24,000. That 24,000 was well worth it for her, but for them, I think it's it was detrimental because that was to give them that cushion right during the time because they need to run everything because no drugs. They're not allowing. Well, Uncle Clifford's not allowing the drugs to go now. Do Uncle Clifford have to allow the drugs to come through?
Yeah, they were minus 24,000 in the hole. Right. And so that's a big climb when well, but then again,
that's why I think she did that on purpose because I was like, she had no need to take the money after Uncle Clifford gave her $250K.
Right.
She asked for interest though. That was the interest.
That's a hell of a lot of interest.
That was the interest.
If she ever come back,
she did ask for interest, but she already had $250K.
What she was doing actually was reversing what what she had done. So she figured taking all that money out of their account like that would put them so far behind that they'll wind up losing.
That's why I said she was being vindictive.
Yeah,
she's being vindictive.
So whatever comes her way next season, I can't even be mad.
But, right. But you know, at the end when you see her kind of disappearing into the, you know, into the mix of the crowd, and I looked at her and I said, "As fine as your little behind is, you know, crooked letter."
And you know, we talking about crooked letter. You know, Haley had given Keyshawn this car to get away, had all these luxury items in there, and her whole plan was kind of set. Murda gave her the money that he owed her, and it seemed like just as she was getting it all together to go and get out of town, Shanice, her stepmother, ruins the whole thing.
She should not have ever trusted them anyway. I mean, they showed her who they were
long time ago.
Yeah.
And I just hate that they had to be a part of the plan.
I know. I mean, she could have dropped them off to Mercedes or somebody else. But, you know, Shanice calling Derek and basically letting him know that Keyshawn was out on all of these errands and stuff like that. And Derek's like, oh, I didn't realize she had so much stuff to do. And so he ends up getting the kids, taking them back, and she comes home. Lo and behold, CPS is waiting for her at the door.
But you know something, though? If she had gotten away with taking the kids, she would have been listed as a felon, a run, you know.
It depends, right?
No, because
her children.
Let's say, and the reason I say that is because whatever his plan was, whatever Derek's plan was already in the making. That wasn't overnight, so he made that plan.
I think it was kind of overnight because remember
it was
earlier
because
in the
when
season,
they
he had been talking.
When I say overnight though, I'm sure he had already spoken to the sheriff. He'd already, you know, started making. She walked into it because they were there waiting for her. So that wasn't just an overnight call, you know, because nobody arrives at your house that fast.
Well, I mean,
he's kind of sheriff was coming. Sheriff was coming over his house for lemonade, so he did have that type of pull, and plus his family.
But that's what I'm saying. He used that pull.
Disowned him. He did use his pull.
Correct. Well, that's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is, had she taken the kids, she would have been a fugitive. She would have been, you know, kidnapping. She would have kidnapping charges on her, you know, felony from running across the. It would have been.
Had to find her.
Well, but you know,
I was gonna say that's the problem with her not filing like formal complaints and anything because she doesn't have a paper trail to back up her accusations. If she was to say that she was in a domestic violence situation.
She should have taken pictures of all those bruises and everything.
When she took that boy to the hospital, she should have said,
"Yes,
what happened?"
Yes,
his daddy yanked him up, and when they saw the bruises on the back, she should have said that came from his daddy. Let that paperwork begin. You know, she was so
scared.
She was scared.
She was scared because you can see anytime there was
scared
was violence. Anytime there was violence, you can see that she was kind of like, even when the fight broke out at the club, you know, and she was laying like, you know, she would just be
curled up.
Yeah, that's why I said she was terrified and didn't you know, recognize her own power. She kept looking for the white knight, and about the white knight. Every time, like I ship Keyshawn and Diamond. I want them to hook up, but every time Diamond tries to be her white knight, Diamond gets hemmed up.
Yeah, because that's one prediction we were right about with Big Bone and her being a snake.
That was some kung fu shit going on with that.
Listen, right?
That little person in all the black was waxing my boy, and I'm like, Diamond ain't no.
And they stabbed him first though.
Yeah.
So Diamond was already caught off guard. Once they stabbed him,
he turned around, had a few punches, and whoever it was ducked both, and then he stabbed. But I'm just saying, I looked at the moves, and I'm like, dang. That's kung fu.
In the great words of Belle Biv DeVoe, you cannot trust a big butt and a smile. That girl is poison. Like she was when she seen that ring, I knew something was up then.
Right.
Yeah.
I knew that they caught a good camera glimpse of that ring to show us that something's gonna happen because of that ring.
I was gonna
I'm
say
happy
something
because
else
of the
about
ring,
that.
because again they showed it when he was in the trunk.
I was
You know
gonna
what I
say
mean? But
something else
I'm
about
happy the guy didn't kill him. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but I happy he like, nah.
we already got stabbed.
They seem like they want to torture him or something.
Well, that's stabbed.
Get information out of him.
When they pulled that knife out though, that was deep enough to look like it might have been a kidney. That might
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is,
And he was fading in and out too.
Yeah,
well, also
he
he
had
was,
blood.
because Diamond is ex-military, so
Right.
you can see in his mind that he was
Flashbacks.
already the flashbacks. He was having PTSD, and now look, the Pynk posse gonna have to slide
for Diamond. Yep.
But then in the background, didn't you hear somebody talking like this? Somebody was coming. If y'all go back and listen, you'll hear like somebody.
I think that was in his head. I think that was part of the
PTSD
hallucination, PTSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? Back to Keyshawn though, because she also flipped out. You know, she was recalling all of the things that Derek had said to her in her mind as the lady was talking. It seemed like the lady wasn't really saying that stuff to her, but it was kind of just like regurgitations of what Derek had been telling her over the years. And so once she really like accepted the situation for what it was, and she really like became enraged with the whole thing, because I think she realized that she went about it all wrong. And he completely set her up. So she flipped out, started punching and beating on him. She ends up getting arrested. And I'm like, I just felt so bad for her because it was really a lose-lose situation.
And make it worse, she calls Diamond to help her, I suppose, or at least
that's what
doing. And now he's jammed up. So
that's what I said. Every time he goes to help her, he gets jammed up.
Yeah. So I hope next season we can see Keyshawn get to a better place, because it seems like she's not gonna be able to get away. It just seems like she's stuck.
Derek has got to go. She's gonna have to save herself. She is gonna have to save herself. You know, she keep looking for the white knight. She gonna have to take Derek out.
Yeah.
You know, because if she were white, that would have been an entirely different played out situation. She would, you know, and that was the disturbing part of the finale for me, because, you know, we were so hopeful that she'd make it out with the kids, and rightfully so, because the kids need, you know, safety.
Their mother.
But you could feel something was gonna go wrong.
I thought something was gonna go wrong. I
didn't know that though.
I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I was scared something was gonna happen to the kids. Well, I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad Mississippi is okay. She's in a bang, but she's not dead, because I was afraid that might happen too, that she might get hurt. And so none of those things happen. So at least we'll, you know, I think we'll have an opportunity for her to redeem, you know, to get out the bang in season 3. But yeah, we got to get Derek out of here.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about Mercedes next, because it seemed like everything fell into place for her this episode, which I'm happy that she finally gets, you know, some relief from all of the craziness going on with her. She got her studio, because Farrah ended up sending her a check, just as we suspected she would. So she got some money for her photographs, and Farrah using her likeness. And she gets to get her dance studio, which her plans have shifted. Just like Uncle Clifford said last episode, you know, dream new dreams. So now her dance studio, which used to be for young girls, is going to be like a pole dancing lessons, I guess.
Experience, right?
Yeah, it really is an experience. She's going to be teaching all the older women like Patrice, you know, how to do it.
But that's actually perfect too, because now she has a direct connect with the Pynk. So, you know, anybody that comes through that class,
that's true.
They have a place to go, and she can actually make some money off that, you know. So
most important,
that's a real good direct connect for her. So hopefully, you know, it plays out that way for her. And you got too those images, like you know, those are you know, she said that's a royalty check. So
she'll keep getting money. Yep.
Yeah, she'll keep getting money. So
every time one is sold or a likeness is used,
that's
most important, she got her daughter back.
Yeah,
that's the most important part. She got her baby back. You
I
know,
was
I think that's
proud
going
of
to elevate
Patrice
her.
for not holding her back and using that as like a pawn.
Well, that wasn't
Yes.
that was she want to live her life. She want to live her best life now. She ain't got time to be raising no baby.
Right.
You know,
Right.
That's what I thought.
She
But
made
I was,
now.
but I'm glad she did it though. I'm glad she did.
Mhm.
Yeah, she did that purely for look. I don't have time for no babies right now. Here, take your baby.
Exactly.
Yep.
You got
Listen, Mercedes gonna have to keep her eye on little Terica's hot butt because when she
Facts.
introduced her to Maine and
I
her,
was
she
like,
was switching her little hot tail in front of him, I was like, okay, we 2 minutes from the clinic.
yep.
Right.
Getting rid of one baby.
You just
like,
stole the thought right out my mind.
we just came from Jackson. Take your hot butt in the house.
She got to take her up out of that environment. Put her in the like she got a little bit of money now. She gonna get her studio. She got to take her from that whole because she walked right outside and you see what's right outside.
Well, that's why Mercedes got to change her mindset too. You know, I don't know if I would have introduced her to Maine. I mean, I guess it would have to happen sooner or later, but she walks over there like, it's all good. It's not all good. You know what your daughter's like, and you know what Maine is like. So I couldn't even put that connection together unless I had to.
You don't want nobody looking at your child like that at all.
Yeah.
Maine was cool.
I don't think he was looking at her. I think it was
her.
It was her. But that's what I'm saying. You gotta know your child. So there's just certain things you don't put her around.
Well, the other thing that Maine was talking about was how she was on stage with Murda, at the reopening. And she was, banging his colors, and he was like, it seems like you picked a side. And she was kind of trying to, let him know that the pink is really the only color that matter up in there.
Right.
But he was really tripping. He was like, you better tell that F word, watch his back. And I was like, oh, wow.
So Maine seen the tape. He's seen the tape.
Exactly. So everybody is kind of slowly finding out.
I think people knew anyway, because first of all, Pico was in that gang, and Pico had been running his mouth anyway. You don't know. Pico probably said something to all of them. I think it probably had already been out there for real.
I was really shocked that Mercedes didn't mention that to Uncle Clifford though when they talked, because you would think with somebody putting a threat out there against somebody's life, who they all are kind of close to Murda, I would think that she would have been like, look, I'm not trying to start no mess, but you should tell Murda to step up his security.
Yeah,
I think she was still processing, because when he said that, she was like, don't talk about Uncle Clifford like that. She didn't even know what he was talking about
No, she knew after he said not
but
that
no,
one.
I know, but after she found out, I think she was still processing, because once she said that, she did not know that Uncle Clifford and Murda were an item until she went to the party and was like,
right.
Oh,
that's why I'm saying she should have said something at the party.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think she was still processing. We may see that. I think we're gonna see that in season 3 though, because this is gonna play out. I think she's gonna probably have to like warn or whatever, because first off, Murda warned Maine. Like when he did that freestyle and everything, 7 pounds of pressure, that was a warning shot. Like, you don't want no smoke.
And it was acapella
like,
too.
I think it was as much a warning shot as to say, what you give, you can get. So I think this is a one-way street. And whatever it was he said to him, Maine got it. Because
he got it loud and clear.
He got it loud and clear, and he stepped
Maine was there to listen, though, to find out if he was.
I think he was there to do some harm. I think because he came up front, and the way he looked to me, it looked like something was about to go off.
If he would have said something, if he would have said like, "I did that,"
no,
but he didn't. He didn't say he did it. He did not claim it, but he let him know you can get it if you want it.
Right.
Because remember now, Maine already thought that he had something to do with it, even before.
But he didn't own it in the song. He didn't say anything about that. He just straight said, you can get this smoke if you want.
He didn't own it, but he didn't disown it.
You can get this pressure.
Right. He didn't own it, but he didn't disown it.
So, and speaking of that, go ahead, Ron.
Well, I'm saying he didn't own it, nor did he disown it. So my thing is, he's basically saying, because in the song it was something
7 pounds of
pressure. 7 pounds of pressure.
7 pounds of pressure.
And talking about but also talking about the game, the life. And And so he's saying this is what is. And so in my opinion, he was like, you know, I'm not going to tell you I did it, but not going to tell you I didn't. But 7 pounds of pressure can go either way. It can go your way or mine. And so whatever thought Maine had kind of dissipated after he heard that freestyle.
Yeah, and I don't want to overlook that performance though, because Mercedes killed it. Like when she did that flip over his head and landed,
my gosh,
I was screaming in my seat.
Me too. I was like, that's why I've been saying all along, put some respect on Mercedes' name. I was like, I don't know how many people out there are Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans and know Lisa Vanderpump. But Lisa Vanderpump used to have this tagline that said, she would say that the crown is heavy, darling. Just leave it where it belongs. And I felt like that should have been Mercedes' tagline this episode.
Look,
because I was like, she deserved that crown.
And they ain't know it, but she said that was her last dance. So she went out with a bang.
She killed it.
That's how you go out.
And even with them, with that, like, you know, y'all know how the rap beef go, right? You know, even when they claimed killing Big T, which they really didn't do, he knew that. But you know, the streets listen to the lyrics, right? They always listen to lyrics. Police listen to lyrics now, but they listen to lyrics and see people confess. They tell on themselves or tell what they're about to do, right? That's why Maine came up front. I believe.
Yeah, that you're right.
To make sure, like, let him say it. Let him say it.
Let him say it. But he didn't though.
But he didn't though, right? So that's the reason why he kept his poise. He kept his patience. Like, oh, all right. Yeah, he bet not have. You know what I mean? He bet not.
That's exactly what.
Yeah.
Because his baby mom swears that they did it.
And she's right.
Right.
But you know, they talk though.
Yeah, I know, but that's what you're right. You're right.
And
that is exactly what he was listening for. He was like, if this
say this word,
claims, if he claims it, it's gonna be on and popping in here. But he didn't. He didn't say he did it, but he let May know you can get this pressure off.
Yeah. But you know what really worries me though about this situation is because Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda had this conversation early on, and they talked about going their separate ways because, you know, Clifford talked about not wanting to dim Murda's light and not to make him feel any regrets for not pursuing his dreams. But Murda later comes back, which I love that scene with Pretty Brown Eyes playing.
Yes.
And then you see Murda over on the little jukebox stand. I loved that scene because he came back and he was like, look, this is my decision to make.
Right.
But, you know, with him coming back and deciding he's not going to go on tour with Tina Snow, that means that it's on and popping with him in Maine. You know, like, he's fair game. He's still in the neighborhood. I feel like going away could have gotten him away from some of the chaos and the tension and the beef. But him staying is really a threat to his life.
It is. But
I wanted to ask the question, do you think he made the right decision? Not just to stay, but also
to live
to come out at that point in time, because
he was tired. He had to.
It freed him up though, because I was just like, for him to be living with that secret. And this is the thing. He's not going on tour with Tina Snow, but one thing he did say is, you said I'm a star, then I want my own tour, my own right. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is that he's going to go to Wody, and Wody is going to hook up his own tour for him. So I don't think he's totally giving up the dream. What I think is going to happen, he's going to deal, I think in season 3, he's going to deal with the challenges of him coming out, because the industry is...
I want to talk a little bit about that though, because
before you do, I want to make this point because it kind of parallels what you said, Hassan, and what you're saying, Tiffany, and basically the question that I have, because now that Lil Murda is out and he had he's already told you who he is, and already know how Maine feels about those type of people.
Yeah.
Now, does that exacerbate things for Maine? Yep. Does he step it up a notch now? Did he go,
it's gonna be that's gonna be a problem too. I think it's gonna be a big problem. It's gonna be problems on both ends. It's gonna be a problem because he still got the beef, the gang beef, and it's gonna be a challenge because I don't think. Yes, he's out now and he's choosing Uncle Clifford, but I don't think he's giving up on his dream. I think he's gonna still pursue it, and that's gonna be a challenge image wise, being in the hip hop community.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on though, because there have been I think it's like people are really changing their perspective on how rappers live their lives and who they decide to date or whatever, because of course we mentioned Lil Nas X, he's a little more out there, more flamboyant with it, but you know, with Murda being a rapper and him being like very masculine and being in the gang life and all of that, it's a little bit different for him. But for the most part, I think fans and other people in the industry in general will be more accepting of it now because it's kind of been normalized. And people are kind of like, whatever you do in your personal life is your business. Like we've seen that with people like Frank Ocean, and then I think like Isaiah Rashad, who may or may not be, but you know, it wasn't as big of a deal. I think there's some initial shock, but overall, like people are like, live your life, you know, do you. And I think also, you've seen big rappers like Young Thug wearing dresses and purses and stuff like that. Like, I don't think it's as outlandish as people think it is because it's been normalized. Like people have seen this. Well, so I think if Murda was to come out and really live in his truth, like, yeah, there might be some initial shock, like, oh, we didn't, like, you came out as this gangster thug rapper dancing with this stripper and stuff. But I think if he lives in his truth and says what it is, people will come around. People will let it go.
But let me ask.
Listen, the thing is, he still is a gangster. That's the thing. Because when you think about it, listen, in The Wire, Omar was also gay, but he cleared the streets whenever he was on the street. When people would see him, it was Omar coming, and they would scatter. He drew fear from everybody, and he was gay. And so that's the thing, like, don't get it twisted. You see how Murda was clearing the stage.
But is P Valley a period piece? Because it doesn't look to me like it's in present day. It looks like it might be I don't know, a few years down, because I can only
go. No, it can't be with Rona going on. It's the pandemic.
No, you know, the South is a little bit slower. The South is a little slower. So that's I know what you mean.
No, I'm right. I had a time.
Because they have Rona, so it's definitely present day.
And but I guess the reason that I kind of slipped on it is because, as you were just saying, Tiara, the world has pretty much accepted, you know, gaiety or gay rappers or what have you. So why was he even?
Nah, not everybody.
Because it's not all the way accepted, but I think, you know, and especially with them being in the Deep South, it's a little different. Because again, like we mentioned, that's the Bible Belt. But for the most part, I think that people are just like, look, live your life. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Live your truth. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my money. You doing what you're doing in your life is your decision. You got to live with that. So do you, and live your truth. If it's going to make you happy, then do that. But
Uncle Charlie
carrying that weight.
But Uncle
plus Lil Nas X, a lot of the folks, you know, he was already successful when he came out, though. He wasn't on the ascent like Lil Murda.
Right, and Uncle Clifford felt that. She felt that because that was one of the reasons she was saying to him to go ahead and do what you got to do, because you're not where, you know, you haven't made it to that pinnacle yet. So go ahead and do what you got to do. And, you know, like they say, you know, if you love something, let it go. And if it comes back, it's yours to have. And I think that would have been something to see, though. And I think that's what I would have preferred to see. I would have preferred to see, you know, Lil Murda go out, do his thing, come back stronger, more on top, then get with Uncle Clifford. And that,
you know what this is about, though? Because Murda mentioned how his situation with Teak started and how it was secretive and he had to pay off a guard to pull him into the closets and stuff. Right. And he kind of felt like he was responsible for Teak committing suicide because he didn't love him
in the light. That's what he said. He was like, I love him in the dark, not in the light.
Yeah.
He didn't want to make that
now
mistake
he's saying
again.
to Uncle Clifford, I don't want to have those regrets with you. So I'm going to love you in the light. I'm going to love you publicly, which is why when he pulled him up, that LTD song was playing, Love Ballad, that's like, damn.
It's a classic.
And, you know, it was perfect for the moment because, you know, it's saying like what we have is much more than they can see. And is everybody standing there watching them? It's like that really was their truth. Like what they have is more than what everybody has seen so far. And this is their first time like publicly showing affection and really not caring what nobody has to say about it.
No, it was a good scene. It was an excellent scene. And the music was like
the music this whole episode, I mean the whole season, it's been on point.
Yeah, all of it's on my playlist. As I started hearing it, I was just putting it in my playlist. And I should have
yep.
But no, I can see that. I guess, you know how sometimes when they do two different endings, it would have loved to have seen them both to see how it played out. But I suppose, you know, Lil Murda acted on his emotions, and which is fine because he didn't want to repeat what, you know, happened with the Big Teeth. So I got that. And and you know, and I hope it works out for him. And it should really. I don't think, you know, but again, we are in that Bible Belt, holier than thou, you know, area.
Well, look, if they can bring Patrice on as a mayor and she's admitted to being a hoe and some more,
they can accept Murda so y'all can fly.
That's why I think his career is going to elevate. I think it's truly going to elevate because he's going to gain another following. Because at the end of the day, now he's a rapper. He's this murder, you know. But at the end of the day, his soft spot is for
Clifford. Really? Well, yeah.
I mean, so
Patrice could do anything she wanted to because she had that Bible, and that's all they concern themselves with. If you got the Bible, if you can tote the Bible, and you know.
Well, she was talking about the stuff with the community too, because when she had that commercial, she was like the crackers. she was talking about the things that was happening to the community and talking about things that was happening along racial lines too. So the Black folks can relate to that as well. That, you know, it was about the Bible, but she was speaking to the things in the community. And plus, remember in the beginning of the season, she also had the food bank.
Yeah,
because she was doing the food bank, so she was feeding people. Like she was
doing the groundwork.
She was doing the ground. She was taking care of the people.
But what about that phone call? You don't think Corbin's family had anything to do with her winning?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you can see Wayne and Corbin
they got what they wanted too. They got what they
wanted. Yeah,
they got what they wanted.
Right.
And who did that? Uncle Clifford. Uncle Clifford orchestrated all that stuff because she got her club back. She worked that deal with Corbin to get the club back. Got the casino out the way. They don't have to worry about the Pynk no more.
Look, grandmother survived.
Oh, grandmother survived, but Uncle Clifford also put it in Corbin's head that the way to Patrice was the money. So Uncle Clifford, as much as Haley is as smart as you thought Haley was, and she is, Uncle Clifford had it up here. Had it going on up here too.
Yep. Uncle Clifford's playing chess the whole time.
Yep.
This is the crazy part, right? Now, what causes war? Politics, religion. Now we got Mayor Bishop, who's going a politician who practices religion. I want to see what type of war is going to be going on in season 3.
Yeah, because they always
Mayor Bishop.
They talk about separation of church and state, but not in this case.
Probably gonna be messing with the Pynk because she talk about sin and everything. The way she used to be on Mercedes about being a stripper and everything, she might be giving
she gonna be a problem.
She might be a problem in season 3 with the Pynk.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
But I think her and Mercedes is gonna come back to her. They're gonna build that mother-daughter bond. Remember I was saying that before. Watch. I think they're gonna build that back up.
I hope so.
Now that she gave her daughter back, you know, even though for the right reason,
it might have only been out of convenience though. Like I got all this stuff.
And, you know,
for her it means everything.
But remember that. But remember when Patrice went in and she started scoping the place.
Right.
She was rather sarcastic and said something. I can't remember exactly what she said, but
you back to this again.
It came across to me like she may try to sabotage that at some point.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think she's not that.
Well, I tell you why, because she said, "Oh, you got a pole in here." And remember, she's always against the Pynk, so I wouldn't be surprised. Look, you stole $30,000.
She brought the pole. She got on the pole.
Yeah, but you know,
get some constituents to vote for her.
Yeah, but it's that do unto others. You know,
you want right.
you know, but don't do unto me the way I do you. And I think that's what she's doing. Um, she felt she had, well, she said, I had to do whatever I had to do to win. And she did. She did whatever she had to do to win, and that includes cheating. So it, I'm just a little worried for Mercedes and her club. Because now she's mayor and she's still bishop. So you know what she's gonna do. She's gonna do everything she can. I hope she doesn't. I hope that, you know, she can squash this whole thing with her daughter and get back to, you know, family living, but I just don't see that much.
But Ron, think about it like this, right? In the club, the stripper pole is used to gain flesh, right? She's not doing the pole for the flesh now. Now she's doing it for exercise. She's going like it's different meaning now. Right?
I know that, and you know that.
So I think that's going kind of bonded now.
But Patrice can also see it as you're training up the youth to become pole dancers for the Pynk. That's not a far-fetched. That's not a far-fetched ideology. So I can very well see someone who's that diabolical to make that connection. See, we're looking at it from more of a congenial standpoint, but I'm talking about this person who's diabolical and will do anything. And the question is you know, has she finished with Mercedes, or does she still have it out for her? That's my question.
I think Patrice is still a little diabolical.
Okay.
You know, when it comes down to it. So I'm not thinking that her and Mercedes will be on the same page for too long.
No, but I think that she probably still loves Mercedes, but it's a twisted type of love.
Right.
It's a twisted type of love. Because I was so happy for Mercedes when she got her daughter back. Like I was welling up a little bit. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But I think Mercedes is gonna break it with her daughter, that generational curse thing of how she treated her mom and how she treated her daughter. And I think they're gonna break that right there. So I think that's gonna build the bond up a little bit better. She's gonna see her caring for her daughter, loving her daughter, and now it's gonna be a thing of like, oh, okay, wow, she's doing the right thing, and she's not bringing these souls, the flesh, to here. It's parents coming, moms coming with their daughters, they're exercising because now modern day the poles now used in a different.
They do that in exercise classes.
Pole dancer classes. You know.
Yep. They have chair dance and all that stuff too. The exercise.
I remember in the Bible Belt. So
well,
you gotta know where it all coming from. So I agree with you. I'm not in disagreement, but you gotta remember where they are. You know, that Bible Belt is something else. They are one track minded.
Right. And you know, I don't want to skip over it because we briefly mentioned grandmother, but I do want to celebrate the fact that she did in fact make it through her COVID situation. She returned home, and then now looks like she is ready to live life to the fullest. She is throwing herself a welcome home party and everything. So I'm glad that she made it through. Glad we will still see more Loretta Devine.
I was thinking the same thing.
I love her character.
I do too. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So through, and we get to keep Loretta Devine.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Very happy about that. And the last thing I want to touch on from this episode was Miss Roulette. Because she is still out here doing her thing, and we asked Gail Bean, you know, would she be getting into the pimping realm? And she basically said, what do you define as pimping? Because she's basically saying her and Uncle Clifford are essentially doing the same thing. Which I don't know if I can agree with that. But one of Uncle Clifford's friends seemingly is trying to join Roulette's team, and I'm like, that's a betrayal.
Gail alluded to that too. Like, she didn't say who, but when she was like, this next woman, and then she stopped when we during the interview, we're like, and remember we all like, what?
Yep.
So is it a setup, or is it really?
No, it's a betrayal, I think.
But do you think she really? I don't know. I think that's.
I hear you, Hassan. I'm torn.
Right, because I'm like, how did
maybe
she know
is trying to get intel.
Right. She might have set her up like to find out like what's going on with her. Just throw it out there, act like you know what's going on.
You may
see what she said. Because that's kind of weird. Like, how does she know everything that's going on unless Whisper talked?
Somebody talking.
Somebody talk. Shoot, Toy could be talking.
Yeah,
that's true.
Toy, she got the boo.
And she just wants a piece of it. So, but it could be all things. So
right.
It'll be interesting.
She said something that's really true. It's a lot of folks on the down low, and that's what she said. It's a market for
market.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
So she was like, "You need me in your stable."
She's absolutely right. There's a market for it, and while you're building your, your stable, you might as well have a little bit of this in it. So, it could make some very good sense. Roulette, I love her. She's on her plan.
Yeah.
She just it's funny because as much love as Uncle Clifford, I'm never going to get rid of that.
Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson.
All right. I need a class.
We know what you meant.
Right. I was going to say.
I just want to say I don't drink before I come on the show. I know but yeah, Uncle Clifford, as much as she pours into those girls, with the exception of a couple of them, she's really not getting back what she pours in. And I'm speaking mainly with Roulette, because
just her, because everybody else
herself.
Yeah, she's out. I think everybody else, like Mercedes, she was closest to her, and I think Keyshawn felt.
Well, you got and then you got Whisper. You got a lot of them that are, a couple of them at least, that are really up to no good. And Uncle Clifford is so trusting with the girls. She really doesn't sometimes, guard her back with them. Has her back open.
And she's looking at them as family.
Yeah.
And that's what she said to Autumn. Like, this is family.
And I think that can come back to bite her if she's not careful.
Yeah. And you were going to add something, Tiffany?
Yeah, I was going to mention what Nico said during our interview. Like, during our interview, he said something about, when people are in love, what people do for love. And he made that point, and I thought about this episode because look what Murda did for love. Murda chose not to go on tour. He came out and everything for love. Also, look what Diamond did for love. Diamond, like, he was with a chick, and he took that. He was about to spin the block for Keyshawn.
Ready to risk it all.
So he was ready to risk it all. So it just made me think of that point, because Nico talked about that. It's like, y'all been there, like, what you won't do for love, for that person.
I felt something was going to happen with that, because I seen this, the way the camera was angled, somebody was going to come up. I thought it was going to be Keyshawn's, her guy, but I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know that, and that was scary, because I hope nothing happens then.
Listen, once we saw last week with Big Bone, like, I think, we knew she was the ops, but I think she really had feelings for Diamond. And I think that's what took her so long to even send the picture, because she had all the pictures of them booed up. And I think once she saw him kiss Keyshawn and stuff, that was betrayal for her. She was like, all right.
Yeah, it was a wrap.
This dude said, he for the streets. I'm sending this pic on.
Yeah, so we got a lot to look forward to in season 3. I'm kind of glad they didn't give it all to us in this finale, because they kind of left us lingering on some things. Yeah, so
story forward.
I was happy with how this episode and how this season turned out in general. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add before we close out?
Looking forward to next season.
Same too. I really want to see how this plays out with Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda. I'm hoping for the best. But I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Tiff?
Yeah, I just want to thank Katori and the cast for a great season. I want to thank, Nico Anand and Gail Bean and John Clarence Stewart for coming on our show, and even the cast that interacted with us on social media. Jay Alphonse, aka Lil Murda, and he interacted with some of our social media posts, and so did Katori Hall. So thank you.
Yes.
Great season. Season 1 was phenomenal, and you guys outdid yourself this season. And stars, the Pynk Posse needs them. Season 3. We also need merch. Thank you.
Look, I was just about to go there. So first of all, stars, we, like Tiff said, we want merch. And then to all the viewers out there, because in our conversation with Nico Anon, he mentioned that if you love P Valley and you really want to support the show in a way where they can get a lot of visibility from the entertainment industry, do it on the entertainment platforms. Because I know we're as fans, we show a lot of love on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. But the platforms that really count in the industry are places like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and stuff like that. So make sure you go onto those platforms as well and show your love and support for this show. Because come award season, they need to clean up.
Absolutely.
They do. And especially J. Alphonse, I think he really showed an incredibly amount of range. Like, everybody did a phenomenal job acting and stuff, but I really appreciated his range this season as Lil Murda.
Yes. So do all of those things. In terms of the who can get the hands list for this episode, I'm putting Derek on who can get the hands list for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of leaning towards putting Terica on there for acting
for being a hot butt. Should we put Haley on there? Should we put Autumn on there?
Haley, she stole the money.
She gotta get it too for stealing the money. Big Bone for him and Diamond Up.
Yeah, Big Bone.
And Game Ball. So who we giving the Game Ball to? I think I would give it to Murda for showing up and really professing his love.
Well, Murda and Uncle Clifford.
Uncle Clifford too, for saving the Pynk.
Yeah, for saving the Pynk and doing what was right. You know, kicking old girl out the program. You know,
Can y'all give a Game Ball for the season to Katori for?
Absolutely, Game Ball to Katori for sure.
That's a no-brainer.
We gotta do another one, a trophy.
For
MVP.
Oh yeah, MVP award. Yeah.
Right,
I want to say one other thing too. When you all start shooting, why don't you all invite us out at that point in time when you start to shoot? We want to do a little interview with you guys. Doesn't matter where you are. We'll come to you. We're all COVID, down. We got our
vaccinated
shots. We're good. We just want to come out and have some fun with you guys and maybe do a little interview. Anything like that might help.
That would be dope.
Don't worry about airfare and all that. We got it covered. Just invite a brother and a sister and a brother and a sister. Invite us out.
Look at y'all. You shoot your shot. They say
my parents used to say, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll be among the stars. And that's exactly where we want to be, with the stars.
I hear you.
Stars.
Y'all funny. But we did say, you heard it first from Nico Anon. He said he was gonna come back after the season finale. So we look forward to that. And some subscribers have said to us they want us to go live for that, because they want to join in the Wings and Cocktail, because that's one of the themes we were thinking about doing.
Maybe we can come together live and do a live event with that.
We'll work it out. We'll try to work that out.
I even got the spot, Tiara, that we can probably.
Subscribers want to join us. Their Wings and Cocktail.
I hear you.
I think we got even the spot for that.
So we'll work out all the details, and we'll be sure to let you guys know. And this is why it really pays to be a subscriber to our channel. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell so that you get alerted, and follow us on all social media platforms, because that's where we really do a lot of our communication in terms of bringing people on as guests if you would like to join any of our panels. So make sure you're subscribed and following our social media so that you can get access to the show and be on here if you choose to. We are open to having our viewers on. So if you would like to be on, reach out on social media. Yep. Yes. So please make sure you do that. We appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting from some of our latest roundtables and stuff. Y'all have really been showing out. So continue to support us. We appreciate it. Drop down in the comment section and let us know your thoughts on this episode, and also your predictions for next season. And if y'all don't have anything else to add, I think we're gonna call it a night. Y'all got anything? I think we got it all out.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So have a good night. This is the end of P Valley recaps But we, like I said, we'll probably have Nico back. And then we are also recapping Raising Canaan. So that's going to be coming soon. And we're still finishing up with The Shy. So follow those recaps as well. And on that note, have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Come on over, let's pick up where we left off. You and I had lots of love just to top it off. We can wind and down for days, never let it stop. I just want your everything, baby. Maybe later we can dance, never let it go. Listen to our favorite songs on the radio. Losing up and lose ourselves to this feeling, oh. I just want your everything, baby. I'll be deep under your influence tonight. Ooh, keep it coming.